Welcome on in. It's your boy G Bush back at it again. The Barbershop is back. We welcome you on in. We hope you had a great holiday. We hope everything is well. We hope you got all the presents Santa wanted to get to. And we'll actually break down a couple of a couple Christmas presents people was excited to get to a couple of days ago. So we're going to get to it at the barbershop. Get your coffee ready, get your tea ready, get your Gatorade, whatever preferably you do in the morning, and get ready for another great episode of G Bush and the Barbershop. So we got to get to something. It's been a tumultuous week. And what I wanted to do, I talked about this a little bit on Ultimate Browns. What I wanted to do is try to add something to the conversation. There's been a lot of people going back and forth that hit me up about different numbers, and this is going to be one of the big conversations that we talk about moving forward with Shador Sanders, because right now there's going to be something to be said about who's the quarterback from now until when the draft comes and goes. And the Cleveland Browns will obviously do their due diligence. They will obviously put out smoke screens. They will obviously put out feelers. They'll bring in quarterbacks to work them out. They'll do all of those things. But the one thing that most people be looking forward to and trying to find out and read the tea leaves is, are they going to be drafting a quarterback? And should they be looking at a quarterback? Has Shador Sanders done enough? Has he done enough in order to get to that? Has he done enough to not look at a quarterback? Obviously we got some of the playoff games coming up. Mendoza play, Dante Moore play. But one of the things that's going to be used to either bolster your argument for or against Shador Sanders is going to be statistical data. And the thing about statistical data is I'm not against stats. I'm not against information and data. Data and stats are just another tool to be used to make an informed decision. Those decisions that you make, you want all of the information. But analytics can't be the end-all be-all. There can't be a one metrics where it's a catch-all phrase where that just proves that you're great or you're terrible. You must take a bunch of different things. You must take a lot of different things going on, whether it's the eye test, the film work, analytics, the data, and taking around and examining the roster around you, coaching, development, all of these things, reps, repetitions, the system you're in. All these things must be taken into account when you're judging a quarterback. And so often nowadays we get people, we're boiling it down to one or two stats because we want the stats to say something to prove that we're correcting that. So I'm going to do something here that I kind of did on the Ultimate Browns, which is actually break down the scientific method and show you why statistics can be very misleading. While if you take one statistic, use it out of context, you're not going to be able to tell and have an opportunity to prove your point. We'll do that a little bit as well. Chase Daniel. Now, I said I went down, and if you were in the building, we did the film breakdown. I said I had a little something left for y'all. I did. Chase Daniel talked about what he thought from Shador Sanders. And I thought he played much better than what the narrative was based upon, the outcome of the Bills game. I think a lot of people jumped to the conclusions. A lot of people jumped and moved and, this ain't it, and this ain't it. And we're going to talk about what he thought about it, because don't listen to me. Oh, G Bush, I'm just a off defensive lineman. Shout out to OU by winning their bowl game as well. Shout out to OU. Got another bowl dub. So we'll talk about what Chase Daniel saw. We'll see if he has something different from what I had. We'll get to that as well. Then we're going to get to, this is the fun topic. This is the fun one. I hope y'all stick around for this one. People with the Shador Sanders stuff. Christmas came. People got their jerseys, and boy, oh boy, did they really get them when they got them. When they got them jerseys. Boy, people was moving around, excited. And I think one option that we get to is there's a lot of individuals that are not necessarily looking at this thing from a business angle. They're not looking at it from a cultural or social impact level. And to me, when you talk about it, Jimmy Haslam has had a bunch of data. Jimmy Haslam has had a bunch of data. He's looking at it. And you got to also look at it from the angle of a businessman and what he's able to do in marketing when you have a quarterback. And when you have a quarterback that is marketable, first and foremost, that you think can play, but second and most, has this type of impact in the business world, right? So we'll talk about some of those things and why I already feel Jimmy Haslam has seen enough. Jimmy Haslam has seen enough. We'll break that down as well. We'll get to some of this stuff about the Pittsburgh game. We'll get to your super chats. We'll get to your chat. We'll get to the shout out. Shout out to everybody rolling. We got another great show planned for you. Get ready to rock and roll. And we don't miss in 26. 25 was fine. 25 we was alive, but we don't miss in 26. You're listening to the Barbershop. Come on in. We also have something to say. About 900 people in here right now. We're going to break this down so you can spare the word and let people know. Coming up January 1st, the Barbershop will be strictly on. You can watch the Barbershop in 3 ways. We'll still simulcast on Facebook. We will still simulcast on Twitter. So if you watch on Twitter, we'll do that. And obviously, we'll still simulcast on the Barbershop YouTube channel. We won't be simulcasting on UCSS because of the new YouTube membership rules. So you can't have a podcast be monetized on 2 separate platforms. So with that being said, at the top of the year, we will still have the Barbershop on the Barbershop channel. It won't be on UCSS. However, you still will get G. Bush. I will still be on Ultimate Browns. Make sure you check that out on Tuesdays. I will also, again, be on Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show coming up here in the off season. So I will be on 3 days during the season in UCSS. So if you catch the channel, on and you're catching the Saturday morning show on UCSS channel, make sure that the programming next week, starting at the top of the year, it will be still over here. You can still watch on Facebook. You can still watch on Twitter, and you can watch it there. So due to the new monetization rules, YouTube always got some new rules. So we can't monetize it in 2 places. So just wanted to be upfront with the people so you don't look around and say, where'd G. Bush been at? Where'd G. Bush? Because you know how y'all get. So make sure you continue to watch and support both channels. Make sure you continue to get that done. Now that little bit of house cleaning is done, let's get into our first topic. I don't really want to go around back and forth about arguments about analytics. And I don't really want to get to a point where I'm using one specific analytic. I know the big thing was EPA last week. Guys going back in sack rate and time to throw, all these good things. But what I want to do is I'm going to come at it from a perspective and show you that just because you use numbers and statistical data does not mean you are using it correctly within context. This clip is from a professor from the University of Saskatchewan who points out and shows in this example that he gives just how difficult it is to use stats, one stat, and then make sure that it encompasses everything that you're trying to prove. This is very, very, very telling. Let's get this queued up.
Greetings. Today we're going to be discussing Simpson's paradox. Before we begin, let's start with a definition of Simpson's paradox, also called the Joule-Simpson effect in statistics, an effect that occurs when the marginal association between 2 categorical variables is qualitatively different from the partial association between the same 2 variables after controlling for one or more other variables. So what does all that mean? Let's consider the case of graduate admissions at a university. This university has 200 male applicants and admits 104 of them. They also have 200 female applicants and admit 80 of them. Wait, so 52% of the male students get in, but only 40% of the women are admitted? Is this a case of gender discrimination? Not quite. First, let's look at the graduate programs. There are 4: education, nursing, engineering, and physics. Note how the women apply disproportionately higher to the first two and men apply disproportionately higher to the second two.
So I know this is going fast. We got to stop it and bring this back. When you look at this and break it down, you got to realize that, again, what the professor is saying is you can look at that data and you can say that, oh, wow, why do men get in at a higher rate than women? That may be discrimination. No. You have to also give context. You have to go deeper. You have to look at some of the other things so that you can tell and have clear in context in what you're trying to prove.
The city has 200 male applicants and admits 104 of them. They also have 200 female applicants and admit 80 of them.
So on face value, you just look at 200 male applicants, 104 get in, 200 female applicants, and 80 get in. It's a difference of 24. For someone looking to say this is discrimination, this is something that women are they're disproportionately affected by these policies. You could come out with a conclusion that is not necessarily steeped in correct data and is misleading.
Wait, so 52% of the male students get in, but only 40% of the women are admitted? Is this a case of gender discrimination? Not quite. First, let's look at the graduate programs. There are 4: education, nursing, engineering, and physics. Note how the women apply disproportionately higher to the first two and men apply disproportionately higher to the second two. Now let's look at admissions data. 20% of the men who apply to nursing and education get in, whereas 30% of the women are accepted to these same programs. For engineering and physics, men get accepted at a rate of 60%, whereas women get admitted at a rate of 80%. And thus,
without taking a look at this, without taking a look at the curriculum and the programs in education, nursing, engineering, and physics, and then also looking at the way men apply to those places or the way women apply to them, you would come out thinking that you had a smoking gun here, but you don't. You need more, say it all again, boys and girls, data. You need more, say boys and girls, context.
We see that women get accepted at a higher rate than men for every one of these programs. It just seems like the opposite is true simply because women apply disproportionately to programs with lower overall acceptance rates. By controlling for each individual program, we can see that women are in fact faring better than their male counterparts in graduate admissions at this university. And that's an example of Simpson's paradox. And that's all I have for today.
It's counterintuitive. It's counterintuitive from what you may think you're going into with. But the problem sometimes is when you are coming up with a conclusion or a theory, you then go and search for numbers that prove your theory. You go looking for the answers and the information that bolster what you have. Take a look at it. Stick with me here. We just building on something. We building on something. This ain't sensationalism. We just building so we can have a context in why we can stop having arguments about numbers and we pull up a new number every single week to try to say what we want to say. Are numbers great? Yes, but they have to be used within context. Statistics that mislead. Like fallacies, the lack of evidence to support their claims, statistics are numbers or quantitative data that can be used to misrepresent a claim. A common assumption we always make, and when we see evidence represented as numbers, is that numbers don't lie. Everybody says this. Don't take the emotions out of it. Take the emotions out of it. The numbers don't lie. While it's true that the numbers themselves do not lie, the interpretation and presentation of numbers can be misleading or manipulated to create a false impression. Now, am I saying someone misled somebody intentionally? Here's what you should be saying. Take intention out of it. I'm not saying that you intentionally skewed the numbers so you can make an argument. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying used incorrectly, you may unknowingly have already manipulated the numbers to create a false impression. You can do some stuff without knowing. Simply stated, Simpson's paradox is a phenomenon in statistics where a trend or a relationship that appears in different group data disappears or reverses when the groups are combined. It's a counterintuitive. It's counterintuitive and sometimes misleading phenomenon that can occur when the data is not properly analyzed and interpreted. You can get a bunch of data. My problem with a lot of these sites, the True Medias and a lot of these other different things, is I can't see their methodology. I can't see the statistics they're using. I can't see the formulas. I don't know how they're coming up with these numbers. They just spit them out, put them on a spreadsheet, and they have a proprietary knowledge that says, hey, this is our formula we came up, just trust me. Well, I need to be able to replicate that. I need to be able to see the math on it. It's not good enough just to throw it out there and say that's what it is, right? Also, take it a step further. Take it a step further. A lot of times we do these things. 1,700 people in here. I know we ain't jumping up and down yet, but I got to give you the basis. I want y'all to get and understand what we're talking about here so that you guys have the tools to when you see statements and you see things, you can come about it and say, okay, I see what happened there. How numbers are used in misleading ways. Misleading statistics is when numerical data is used in a way that distorts or misrepresents the true meaning or significance of the numbers. They can be used intentionally or unintentionally. Don't you tell me that G. Bush told you that you was doing this on purpose and you said that I manipulated it and you said you came to my character. I did not. I'm just keeping it all funky right now. This is what it can be intentionally or unintentionally used to manipulate opinions, deceive people, or support a flawed argument. Here are a few examples of misleading statistics. This is from the University of Saskatchewan. This is all from their website, and this is some of the things in their statistic department that they talk about are the pitfalls of using data that is incorrectly analyzed. Cherry picking. This occurs when only the data points that support a particular viewpoint or conclusion are selected, ignoring or excluding contradictory data. Focusing only on favorable data may represent the true picture or trend. I'll give you a case in point. Use EPA. Quinshon Judkins, I think out of 49 running backs, 43 of them, he was 43rd out of 49. Now, we understand Quinshon Judkins is a really exciting, nice young running back, but using him and saying he's 43 out of 49 looks bad and looks flawed on your argument. Because what you take is say, oh, well, if Shador Sanders is 133 out of 133, and my argument is, yes, if you're looking at EPA, it has something to do with the roster around him. It has to do with his coach, has to do with the offensive line, who actually run box and pass block. And both of them are terrible. You then have to come, and there's a correlation between how bad Shador Sanders' EPA is and how bad the EPA of Quinshon Judkins is. So instead of mentioning where Quinshon Judkins is, we just talk about Shador Sanders because that piece of information about Judkins doesn't look good on your report. It doesn't look good for your data. By the way, I believe Kareem Hunt, who we've been told around here is on his last legs and was washed. I believe he was highest 10 in EPA. So you can't have it both ways. You can't use the eye test to say Kareem Hunt is washed, but then turn around and then not say, oh, Well, the EPA says he's pretty good. Nah, it's not the way it works. Correlation versus causation, drawing conclusions based solely on correlation, a statistical relationship between two variables, without establishing a cause and effect relationship, can be misleading. Just because two variables are associated does not mean one directly causes the other. Sample sizes. This is a huge one with Shador Sanders. Making sweeping generalizations based on a small sample size can lead to misleading conclusions. A small sample size may not be the representative of a larger population and can result in skewed or unreliable results. How could you compare quarterbacks in their first 5 games? The sample size is way too small. You can't take data and make a huge generalization. He's the worst quarterback in a generation in 5 games, bro. If you try to do that in some lab or scientific method or a case study or a field study, a pharmaceutical study, they would say, sir, how many people have you studied? How many people have you surveyed? 5. Sir, we can't use that data. Bias reviews. Surveys can be manipulated through misleading questions, bias sampling methods, or selective reporting of results to achieve a desired outcome. If the survey is not conducted in a fair, unbiased manner, the statistics derived can be misleading. Some people who people talk to say, I talked to a guy, and if that guy necessarily don't like Sheduer Sanders or never thought that he was that good, it's going to be skewed a little bit. You think? Right? The correct way would be go to 5 people who really, really are over the top with Shador. Go to 5 people that don't like Shador at all, and give me 5 people that identify as neutral. Poll all 3 audiences and then come back with the data based on what you said from all 3 groups. Percentages without context. Presenting percentages without providing the relevant context can lead to misleading interpretations. For example, stating that your company's profits increased by 50% may seem impressive, but if the starting point was very low and you were taking losses last year, the increase may not be that significant. Some call that framing as well. Percentage without context, we talked about that. And then cumulative probabilities. Misleading statistics can arise from misinterpreting cumulative probabilities. For instance, assuming that if a certain event has a 1 in 10 chance of occurring, it will definitely happen after 10 attempts. Each attempt retains the same probability regardless of the previous outcomes. This is a huge one for Cleveland Browns fans. We had this conversation in this argument on the show last week. The argument was, out of the last 20 years, the Cleveland Browns have only taken 2 quarterbacks. They've only taken 2 quarterbacks in the top 10. 2 in the top 10. So they need to increase their chances of getting a franchise quarterback by taking a quarterback in this year's draft as a top 10 guy. Problem with that is that doesn't increase your probability of getting a franchise quarterback. The chances of you getting a franchise quarterback are still very slim, even if you are picking at the top. If you take a quarterback every single year, you still have a very small chance of getting it. Just because you play the lottery every day does not mean that you have a higher chance of winning the lottery because you play it more than somebody else. Let me get to some super chats really quick. I want to get y'all's thoughts on some of this stuff. J-Mac Too Fresh, salute G. Bush. I work for the Environmental Protection Agency, and I have never studied QBs. Grown is legendary, double wrist up. Miss Dookie, the Browns are one of the top richest franchise in the world at $5.15 billion in 2024 to $6.4 billion in 2025. The Sanders effect. He has lifted the organization. You stick around. We got something cooking for you. We're going to talk just about that. The impact of Shador Sanders economically, the stimulus package. We'll talk about that coming up here later on in the show. Great point, though. Kevin Stefanski clearly doesn't want Shador to win. All of a sudden, Fanning is now out. Who number 12 throwing to? Future Best Buy employees. Let me tell you this, Patrick Williams. There's a lot of people. This is another reason why I feel like cats be safer than what they think they is. After Quinshon Judkins got hurt, Andrew Berry's like, I ain't playing no games. Nah. Harold Fanning, you might sit, go ahead and sit down. Go ahead and sit by me, big dog. Under no circumstances can you get your top playmaker injured on offense. We already got one of them injured playing in the game. That's how you know they didn't already made their decision on a lot of this stuff. People running around and trying to make believe that, oh, he still has a bunch to prove. No, he does not. You think he got to come out here and throw for 9,000 yards to make? No. The organization has seen all they trying to see. Nicole Marie. You should do a live debate with Quincy on why the Browns should build around Shador and not draft a quarterback in 26. You know, I might, you know, I'll be on Quincy's show all the time. So, I mean, I don't have no problem. I have no problem debating about it. There's a lot of people that's going to come to the conclusion that they need to draft a quarterback, Nicole Marie. And I'm going to give you about 4 or 5 examples today that's going to really make a lot of people think like, you know what? I never thought about that. Red Hot Chili Peppers fan. Shout out to the Chili Peppers. I love the Red Hot Chili Peppers. I love how media takes 5th round pick, but want to grade as a 1st round pick. Can't have it both ways. 12 outshine all quarterbacks this year. Remember, that's what we call cherry picking. I also call it moving the goalposts. We talked about last week. It went from Shador Sanders has to prove that he can be a viable quarterback. Now all of a sudden is Shador Sanders needs to prove not only that, but he better be a top 10 quarterback. How? Man, you know, this is like a bad relationship. You ever get in a relationship with somebody and they was in a relationship with somebody for 10 years? It was toxic. They broke up 5, 6 times. It was physical abuse, emotional abuse, all the above, right? They break up, both parties break up, they go find new partners. They start dating for about 6, 7 months. And in those 6, 7 months, the people that came from the dysfunctional relationships, they want the new person to erase 10 years of toxicity. They want you to make them forget about all of the stuff that they have not, that was unresolved, all of the stuff, the emotional baggage, the physical torment, all that. They want you to come in 6, 7 weeks and make you forget about everything bad that happened 10 years. No, it don't work that way. Come on, guys. You're not gonna. We're not quarterback after quarterback after quarterback. Shador Sanders is not going to do nothing in 7 weeks to make you forget about none of them quarterbacks. Come on now. G. Bush, did you see the video with the quarterback coach Bill Musgrave talking about the information presented to the Browns management about metrics? No, I didn't. Lamina 566. I didn't. I'm gonna have to check that out. Usually I'm on it. I did hear Bill Musgrave say the reason why Shador Sanders or any young players gets better is because the work they put in. The hard work that they put in. And by the way, Bill Musgrave and Coach Prime is kind of close. Just letting you know. Young among. It's funny how Jason loved EPA and how he holds on to the balls too long. But production after avoiding sack, he's the top. And Shador's 3rd most pressure, but the least amount of all the quarterbacks in the NFL. I did see that metric. People put that out there. He's pressured the most, but he's able to avoid sacks, and he avoids them at a high clip. First of all, when we watched the film, he had 3 or 4 Houdini acts. 3 or 4 Houdini acts where you say, I don't know how the heck you got it out of that one. Showing mobility. They running read option with him. I knew people wasn't watching the tape and people wasn't watching him at Colorado when they tried to make it seem like he was a statue. It was a point in time they tried to make it seem like Dylan Gabriel was more athletic than him. I said, bro, you couldn't have been watching the tape. He's not his father. What? Wait, he's not his father. Well, listen, his mom is more athletic than you. That ain't saying much. Prime is one of the greatest athletes of all time. If you fall short of one of the greatest athletes of all time, I'll take that. You see how he's led the team in rushing three weeks in a row. T-Storm. Take him to school, G. Bush. You know, we got to give him the context. Shador's third most pressured quarterback. He takes the third least amount of sacks, and that's per EPA. So who cares if he holds onto the ball if he doesn't get sacked? We need Brian Flores and a great offensive coordinator. I'll take both of that. If you down for Brian Flores, hit that one. Put that one in the chat. Brody's bottom line, Jason is clown. That's why we will never come out to meet UCS members and fans. Yeah, you know, Jason was busy, man. You're not a family, man. It's not a family, man. It's kind of tough to go out there to the meet and greets, man. Actually, that's not true. He did come out to a meet and greet. Shout out to Jason. I got to keep the record clean. He came out with his son and off the clock met him. Off the clock, and he came out with Darren at Sweetport Wilson's. So he did do that. I got to keep the record clean. People using stats from 5 games are not honest. In the scientific world, we say you don't have enough power, sample size, too many confounding variables, bad supporting cast to make a statistical assessment on 12. Listen, Afro Thunder, I completely agree. Miss Bell, they took the goalpost down a while ago. Oh, yeah, they took them goalposts. They moved already to Berea. From Brook Park, they moved them over to the new stadium. Took all them boys down. Why can't I get pass is everything they say Shador needs to stop doing, the top quarterbacks are doing. So he's supposed to be perfect and nobody else is. That's another thing that you have to watch too, is because when you've made your mind up and you made your decision on whether a good person is good or bad, it's very difficult to show them anything that's going to convince them otherwise. Some people already put their flag in the ground and said he wasn't it early. A lot of people that never wanted to see him play. So, you know, when you see it on, that's why I do film reviews, to be honest with you. I just keep it real. I do film reviews because I think it's important to show people so that people can't just tell you, oh, this is what is happening. This is actually what's happening. Of course he isn't father. They use that when they aren't winning an argument. Riri lady, I appreciate you. Speaking of, don't take my word for it. Let's get to it. Chase Daniel. Don't take my word for it. We gave you why stats are flawed. We gave that to you. But now it goes to sometimes they don't believe you because they feel like, oh, you just love Shador. You're doing it for the culture. I don't think Chase Daniel's in the culture. I mean, he might be. I don't know. I don't know him personally. But he's welcome to pull up. But take a look at what he says in terms of what's going on with Shador Sanders and what he saw. Don't take my word for it.
The ball and he's getting the ball out quick. His pinky was really bugging him. I just think that the Browns in general just didn't really help him out a lot. And I'm going to get to a lot of different plays, and I just think he...
Oh, what? What'd you say? What'd you say? He said the Browns weren't helping him out a lot.
Really bugging him. I just think that the Browns in general just didn't really help him out a lot. And I'm going to get to a lot of different plays, and I just think he played pretty well for the time being. And when you do that, and when you have certain things that you need to get to play well, it just just sometimes doesn't look too good. Here's what I love though, a little misdirection here. You have this reverse, Shador is handing it off, and I just want you to watch Shador on the block Thought it was awesome, right? He's out there leading it. They actually come back to this play later in the game. Shador does the same thing, but just sort of, hey, get in the way. Called a butt block, man. And it sort of springs this guy, and everyone around him's watching. The 10 guys on the offensive side, the 11 guys on the defensive side.
And we talked about this. And the reason I brought this up before was the fact that Chase Daniels brought that up is because we talked about it on the show a little bit. And that's the same block that Drake May made. That's the same block that Drake May made. And people made a big deal out of it. It was a great block. And I want my guy to be doing some of those things. And guess what? That was an excellent block that springed him. That was an excellent block that spring that play. And it's one of those things that goes to show you that we give credit for some of those things. We give credit to other people like it's like the most mind-blowing thing that I've ever seen in my life. But then, Shador does some of those same things. And if you want, you could go check out. Some of the rest of the review. You can check it out on YouTube. We can't play a bunch of it due to the copyright stuff. So if you, and shout out to them, it's courtesy of Chase Daniels, by the way. But these are things that they're doing every week. He's doing the same things that people are getting credit for. By the way, Drake May just threw for 300 yards. Shador did that in the first 4 games, right? Shador did that in the first 4 games. So there's a lot of stuff that he's doing. He's doing a lot of stuff. And it's just like when we talk about it, it's like, oh, no, that never happened. If you're going to talk about the data, if you're going to talk about stats, well, you got to talk about the record books too. You got to talk about all of it. But the thing that I got to get to, and I think is very, very important, is that I already believe that Jimmy Haslam has already seen enough. He had already seen enough. And a lot of people don't be reading these tea leaves. Let me just start by breaking it down in a business sense. Let me start breaking it down in a business sense. Let's start talking about it in terms of the monetary value. First and foremost, Mary Kay Cabot. Via BrownsNation.com. Deshaun Watson reportedly won't be going anywhere in 2026. As for whether or not he'll be on the team next season, it seems a foregone conclusion that he will be. That's Mary Kay Cabot on Deshaun Watson being back with the Cleveland Browns. He went on to go for another platform. On another platform on 92.3 The Fan and explain why Deshaun Watson would be back. And the reason I'm going down this line of questioning jurors in my case to make the case for why Shador Sanders has already been picked as the quarterback in 26, I give you Exhibit A. The people who want a quarterback in 26 have to already make the moves to adjust the roster to even have it be at a place where that's acceptable. What do you mean by this? In order for you to even set up on how you're going to get a quarterback, you must first dismantle the quarterback room that you have. See, the problem is whoever you draft, if the Cleveland Browns believe Kevin Stefanski was the problem and why quarterbacks don't succeed, there may be a chance that the Kevin Stefanski or Andrew Berry or whoever's still in charge, they believe that the problem wasn't Deshaun Watson. It was Kevin Stefanski. They may have made the decision that the offense was so bad that none of the quarterbacks looked good in it. So in order for you to even get to a point where you can sell us that you should take a quarterback in 26, you first have to dismantle the current quarterback room that we currently have. And that's why we was talking on Thursday. And I said, what do you mean? I think Bull told me. Bull said, if it was me, I would get rid of the whole quarterback room. I looked around and said, what? How could you get rid of? I was confused. I said, what do you mean you're going to get rid of the whole quarterback room? I get rid of all of them. So you meaning to tell me just so you never cut your nose off despite your face? Why would you make a rash decision like that? They even advocated for cutting Dylan Gabriel. I said, hold on, guys. Guys, hold on. Dylan Gabriel is not a starting quarterback. We know that. But you telling me that Dylan Gabriel can't be a third string quarterback? Why would you cut a third string quarterback that you invested a third round pick in? You would then either trade or get rid of a fifth round pick quarterback who just so happens to be one of the most famous people in the world, who's also thrown for 300 yards in a game in like 5 games. And then take an $80 million cap hit on a quarterback that you can't trade. And if you do trade him or cut him, you lose $80 million that you can operate. When asked why you would do that, he said, because Deshaun Watson was a mistake. And good teams get rid of bad mistakes. Let me just tell you this. When you get divorced, why you think people always say it's cheaper to keep her? There's lots of people in marriages that make mistakes. That cap hit, it's that cap hit when you go to that judge and they tell you you're gonna pay alimony, you're gonna be child support. Then they split that debt up and both parts look at each other and say, you know what, that person ain't too bad. Maybe I might chose to go to counseling. It's funny how cap hit work. What do you mean? No businessman is getting rid of $80 million just so you can say, look, Jimmy got rid of a bad mistake. It don't work that way. Now, mind you, Mary Kay has already confirmed this. He's already confirmed this.
21-day window for Deshaun Watson closes today. So, Mary Kay, what is going to be the next move with the Browns in number 4?
Well, the last couple of times I checked, the lean was towards letting that expire and having him finish the season on PUP. And my lead was that he was going to turn back into a PUP kid. Don't know if you saw it or not.
I see what you did there.
Yeah, it was like a Tom Withers lead. But anyways, So I think that they're going to let that expire after practice today. They do practice today because it's a different schedule in this Christmas week. So I think they're going to do that, or at least that's the way that it was going to go yesterday when I was hunting around on it.
Right. And
unless something's changed, that's what it'll be. And he'll go back inside and continue to rehab and then help those young guys in the meeting rooms and different things like that.
Okay, then what does that mean then? So then obviously he's probably not activated for the final 2 games. And then what do you think? I know this is a loaded question and who knows at this point because we don't know who's going to be making the decisions. But what do you see as Deshaun Watson's future with the Browns in 2026?
Well, I do really believe that he will be on the roster. in part because of the salary cap considerations. We know he's got the $80 million cap charge. They'll mess around with that and restructure that, but he'll be on the team next year, and he will have a chance to start games in the beginning of the season as a bridge quarterback in the event that they need a veteran quarterback to do that. He will be in line to be able to do that. If they let's say they stick with Shador and they think he needs a little more seasoning at the beginning of the season, maybe they let Deshaun start a few games and let Shador continue to learn whatever he needs to learn to be able to go out there and win. Or if they draft a quarterback in April and they don't think he's ready yet, then there's a world in which Deshaun can start in place of him. So he will be in play for that. He will be here, and as long as he's healthy, he'll have that chance.
Well, there you go. Courtesy of 92.3 The Fan. There you go. But I take it a step further. Jimmy Haslam then already talked to him. Jimmy Haslam then already told Deshaun Watson what it was. Now, I'm the guy who people thought was crazy when I brought up the collusion and said, oh, they're punishing Deshaun Watson and the Cleveland Browns for giving him that guaranteed contract. You notice ain't nobody got one. Mike Florio came out with it. They basically just had the smoking gun, basically saw in court documents that they had a meeting, said no owners are to do this ever again because you're messing up our bag. You're messing up the way the league is. We cannot come out here and have salaries escalating to that point. They came out and said nobody's going to give Lamar Jackson no guaranteed bag at all when he wanted to be traded. They told Deshaun Watson, hey, listen, you saw all these redemption stories around the league, the Sam Darnold stories, the Baker Mayfield stories, Geno Smith before he fell off this year. If you come out, they gave him an opportunity to activate him off the PUP list, right? He got 21 days to practice. That was a good faith measure. See, I told you. Listen, we're going to give you a shot. We rolling with Shador. We want to see how well you mesh with Shador. Y'all get together. And went back and forth, told Shador. Shador said, I ain't got no problem. I'm Watson, cool. We cool. Ain't no problem. Why you think that they had Deshaun Watson being on the sideline and every time against the Raiders, Deshaun Watson was coming off meeting Sheduer Sanders? You know why? Because it won't work that way with Dylan Gabriel and Sheduer Sanders. They both young players. Why would I be going to Dylan? He don't know what he's looking at either. Do you think that was not orchestrated? See, you guys just got to read it. Maybe I'm just talking to a couple. Y'all got to read the tea leaves, man. And give your boy some credit. Where have I been wrong? When did I lead you astray? Huh? What is my track record on this thing? You thought it was a coincidence that Deshaun Watson was working heavily? You think it was a coincidence that they said Deshaun Watson has been a joy to have in the building, ain't made no issues, no noise, no more allegations, no nothing, got married? So when people is talking about trading and cutting them just to cut them, you're not thinking like a businessman. Deshaun Watson will get an opportunity elsewhere. By the way, why would I trade somebody that I don't even know if the next guy is better than? Number two, if they've already told you they're not trading Deshaun Watson, let's hypothetically say, okay, well, Shador, what if they want to go get Mendoza? Let me tell you something right now. I'm going to tell you something right now. There ain't no guarantee in a quarterback battle that a new coach comes in and Mendoza is better than Deshaun Watson. Dante Moore, what? See, y'all must have forgot. Y'all be forgetting a little bit. The backup quarterback is already here. It's Deshaun Watson. You know why? They're paying him $80 million. And they can't trade his contract. He's the backup. Dylan Gabriel, he's not going to ruffle no rock the boat. He's going to come in. He's going to do his stuff. He can be on that. He can code that clipboard, get his bag, and they got it solidified. That leaves Shador Sanders. But you notice, for you, I'm just telling you how it works. For you to draft a quarterback, you done already seen how you got to move the post to even get to a point to draft a quarterback. Because you readily acknowledge that you can't have a quarterback room with Mendoza, Shedeur Sanders, Dylan Gabriel, and Deshaun Watson. But guess what? They already told you they're not moving Watson. So if they're not moving Watson, why would they move Shedeur? And Dylan Gabriel's fine right where he at. Because now he's slotted where he was supposed to be anyway. Dylan Gabriel ain't no superstar, but guess what? Dylan Gabriel is serviceable enough to come in here and play some games. See, the problem is the setup move is they're a little upset about that. How dare Deshaun Watson? He might see the field. He might actually see the football field. I do believe Jimmy still went to his wedding, right? He's still... Yeah, I got to understand it's a difference between what you want to see and what it really is. Now that we see that, let's take that piece off the board and let's get to this. We still on financial. We still on talking about making money. But see, it's different now. I said it on my members only joint last night. This whole thing with Shador Sanders goes deeper. It's deeper than just the football field. And a lot of people can't understand it. A lot of people don't get it. And from a business standpoint, why would you have a guy? Think about it like this. A guy who has already broke some records. He just so happens to be. He just happens to be one of the most famous people in the entire world. And he just threw for 360 yards, and you saw it with your own two eyes. He just so happens to be sold the most jerseys of all time. And he's a 5th round pick, and he's cheap. So let me get this correct. I got cheap labor. Let's talk business. I got cheap labor. I got a product that the entire world can't get enough of. And I have him under control at a cheap rate for 4 years. Why would I trade, cut, get rid of a person like that? And this guy transcends not local. This guy is not local. This guy is bringing fan bases from here. It's NBA players talking about him. It's rappers. It's Jamie Foxx. It's D Wade. It's Cam Newton. And you people don't see it. Why would any billionaire businessman that's trying to build a stadium, that wants to take over as the next Jerry Jones, why would he give that up? Oh, and by the way, you didn't see him dapping up Prime? You thought it was a coincidence that well-off media caught him and Prime? What's up? How you doing? You thought it was a coincidence that you didn't see Prime at the game in the press box. You think Prime is coming here just to see him audition? I ain't seen no people in the football field in a long time. If there was some strife, if they had a problem, Coach Prime wouldn't be on the sidelines, would he? He on the sideline taking photos, taking pictures, comfortable, feet kicked up. He even brought his girlfriend to the show. See, y'all don't read the tea leaves enough. Stop listening to your boy. I'll connect the dots for you. Y'all want some more dots? Watch the way other people talk about it. This ain't just regular fandom. These is big time folks.
An ability that you just cannot see from the naked eye. It's something special about him that's just inside and it's internal, it's in his DNA. But what I love most about him, I want to see him be successful on the football field like any other fan. But I love when he get in those press conferences. I love how he handles himself in those press conferences.
You said
I
what?
love how he handles himself.
What'd you say?
Other fan. But I love when he get in those press conferences. I love how he handles himself.
Oh, so you see it too. I love when he be in the press conference. When y'all folks get to asking them stupid questions that you've been asking for 30 years, time's up. We ain't on that type of time no more. We ain't on that type of time no more. I'm just Lil G. Bush, but I think I just said something along the same lines last week, didn't I? Didn't I? Dwayne Wade was like, hold on. Y'all keep trying to get you with the I gotchas. You think I'm the only person that saw it?
I love how he stand up for himself. I love how he don't throw nobody under the bus. I love how he's a leader. He takes it. Like they try to turn him against his coach every time they can. I love how he would not allow anyone to turn him against anybody. But when he steps up there on that podium, you get to see the leader that he is.
Yes.
And why he is as special as he is.
Right.
And he always put on for his father. I love that. He don't run from the smoke that he is Sanders. At the end of the day, the big guy got him, right? Only God can judge him. And so, bro, I love Sheduer.
Whew. That's a Hall of Fame basketball player. Him and D Wade and LeBron like best friends. I ain't never heard him say that about LeBron. I ain't never heard him get that emotional about LeBron James. This ain't even in sport. You see what I'm saying? It's global. This ain't local. See, what y'all understood, y'all missed it. Y'all underestimated. I tried to, a little G. Bush tried to tell you, I said, no. A storm is coming. A storm is coming. You better be ready for it. Nobody saw it. Still people trying to wrap their head around it. Why is it? I just don't get it. I'm not understanding. First and foremost, it's bigger than that. Do you think Mendoza or Dante Moore can sell out a stadium with the PSL licenses for 100,000? You think Dante Moore can sell out a venue? If the Cleveland Browns have already made the calculus, if we wrap our arms around this guy, if we wrap our arms around this guy, we just got a brand new fan base. You guys don't get to play. I got to put it in subtitles for you or something? Slow it down. You feel Dylan Gabriel's gonna sell that stadium out? Understand this. I'm trying to give you the picture. I'm just trying to give you the picture. When Colorado was rolling, tell me if I'm lying in the chat. Tell me if I'm lying in the chat. When Colorado got to kicking it, I seen T.O., I seen Snoop Dogg, I seen Cameron, I seen all type of rappers. I seen the Migos, I seen Offset. I seen white people, black people. I seen them sell that stadium out with in Colorado with teenage white girls. All different race, shape, slide. I saw who was the eldest. She was one of the biggest boosters. I think she had to be like 80 or 90. She loved Prime to death. Y'all missed it. You missed the boat. Let me show you why you missed the boat. This ain't never happened nowhere. This ain't never happened nowhere. I don't care where you at. I don't care if it was, listen, these cats is acting like this is some Elvis type. This is some Michael Jackson type stuff right here.
Are you gonna finish opening?
Boy, you let me know if I'm crazy. Ain't nobody acting this way when they got a Trevor Lawrence jersey. Nobody was balling. Nobody was losing their mind when they got a Baker Mayfield jersey like this. Lamar Jackson is the most electrifying quarterback to come out in 35 years. I'm sorry, honey. I'm sorry, honey. I know Lamar is your favorite player, but nobody was trying to get a Lamar Jackson jersey. Nobody. But y'all might say, oh, that's a CU auntie. It's a cult. The auntie. It was the CU auntie. Well, listen, I didn't know. Maybe this person is not, she don't even look old enough to be an auntie. We gonna keep it pushing.
Wait, whose jersey? Is this the Sheduer jersey? Oh! Oh! Let's go! I'm Browns only for Sheduer. This man, this is just a great man right here.
What? These people don't even know where Cleveland is. These people don't even know what it is. Where's the Browns? Ain't nobody buying no Browns jersey. Boy, maybe it's just the women. Maybe it was just the women that was sweating Shador. It was just the women that was out here. Huh? Maybe it was. Nah, I doubt it. I doubt it.
My boy. Yo, get out of here. Yo.
She got you.
The Shador jersey. The new Cleveland. Yo.
The new Cleveland. This man didn't even know that the Browns was a team. He said, I got the new Cleveland. The new Cleveland. I told you winter was coming. These people is genuinely shook. They genuinely is in a bag of feelings. Moved by the 12 jersey. Now, you know how I feel. I can't wear, I wear my own jersey. I can't do that. That's a little too close for me. But am I lying? You tell me, put me a 1 in the chat if you've ever seen some stuff like this. This some old Elvis stuff. This some old Michael Jackson stuff. This some Beyonce stuff. These is grown people with jobs, 9 to 5s. Talk about I got that new Cleveland. What's a new Cleveland? Bring it back.
My boy. Yo, get out of here. Yo.
She got you. She got you.
The Shador jersey. The new Cleveland.
Good job.
Yo. I'm like,
Baby.
wow.
That's nice.
That man got a whole job. That man worked third shift. That man worked third shift. This is his first year and the family get together. Oh boy. Look at this. That man, maybe it's, you know what? This is part of Prime's entourage. I seen he's a plant, industry plant. I seen him at that watch party when Shador fell to the 5th round. I saw him. He was right in the corner. This is a plant by Prime. Y'all ain't slick. Nobody gets emotional like this. This is obviously a plant, and it's very easy to see through. Oh, it is? Okay. Well, let me talk about this. Maybe okay. Maybe it's just the older culture or the older Black community. Maybe the men and the women, aunties and uncles are supporting. My little niece, she unsolicited. Who's your favorite player, Shador Sanders? But you don't watch football. How you? Give me the 12 orange jersey, Uncle Garrett. I said, what? You only 5. You don't watch football. Let's get to it. Maybe it's the older folks. Psych.
Well, there's nothing on my back, but I'm gonna keep this forever.
I'm gonna keep this.
You like it?
Yes, I'm gonna keep it forever. What you doing is? It's only by summer evening, perfect timing.
It's over. It's over. Somebody's swinging. I can't believe it. Oh, the little babies are singing it. This is crazy. I have never seen nothing like this in my ever life. Tell me. Tell me. Can somebody, if you've seen this before, if you've seen this before and you just think I'm just capping, put a 2 in the chat. If I'm capping and these is all plants, this is all created by the Browns, the NFL, this is a movement. He said, what he be doing? He told me bust down my AP. Listen, they don't even know what the autumn are. This is wild. It cannot be denied poetically, Pen. It can't. The movement is global. It's global. Little man, I gotta go. I'm dropping a bomb. Bring that back like Flex. Drop a bomb and bring this back, Flex. And get to the Flex Hogan. New York City, Canada, Ohio, Toledo, Youngstown, Columbus, Cincinnati, Akron, Medina, Strongsville, Ashtabula, Lorraine, Pepper Pike. Let's get it.
Perfect timing. I got Shador.
He just spazzed out right there. Shador! He just spazzed out. Caught the ghost.
Well, there's nothing on my back, but I'm gonna keep this forever.
You like it?
Yes, I'm gonna keep it forever. What you doing dance? And tell me about someone eating. Perfect timing.
He might have actually been in the studio when that was made. He got the voice and everything. Even this was an industry plant. That speaks even more about how powerful this is, even if it was. So, okay, G. Bush. We understand the black community is behind Shador Sanders. We get it. The culture loves him. We understand. We get it. We understand. Even the small, the young, the old, I get it. But what about this, though? What? My man is going, he got to shift. He over the road. Bev Skid says, hey, G. Bush, what does bust down my AP mean? I gather AP is an expensive watch. It's an Audemars. And basically, when you bust something down, that means when you get a regular watch like a Rolex or an expensive watch, a Hublot, a Richard Mille, Audemars, when you get it, those watches are very expensive and they usually appreciate with time. They're like collector pieces. So, but what people started doing in the hip hop culture is instead of having it plain, and they call them plain Janes, like, what I'm saying, most people, that's businessmen, they wear a Rolex, but they don't want no crazy diamonds or nothing in it. You know what I'm saying? It's just it's plain Jane. They don't want nothing else in it. But when you bust it down, you take diamonds and you just put it and flood it on the watch. You know what I'm saying? You take diamonds in post. They put the diamonds in the face. They put the diamonds in the timepiece and the dial. So that's called busting down that watch. So, you know what I'm saying? You bust it down. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it is. My boy finishing off the season, a full JV team at his point. But you know what? My man got it. This ain't just regular. It's a phenomenon, bro. You know what? Okay, that's just one. You can't find no more. You can't find no more. This is my favorite one. It's my favorite one right here.
Yep, there it is.
This is my favorite one.
Fast break. And yes, we got it. And now we got ESPN 2K4. This is the final year. We got a class.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Hey, go one time.
Yeah. What else? What else? Go ahead. Look at him. Huh? 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 I didn't pull it up on the kids' bop. The kids' bop. Kids' bop 9. Featuring Sheduer Sanders.
Hey, go one time.
Y'all sick. Kids Bop 9 featuring Taylor Swift. Shake It Off. And Shador Sanders. Woo! So, as you guys all see, you know, if you are a businessman, and as I put these all together, and people are just giving me data, just walking me the data, walking me the data, I'm going to take a look at the data and say, okay, this kid's been Googled how many times? Dang. How many jerseys he sell? Dang. How much it cost me to get him? Well, it's free, sir. Where's his jersey sales? Oh, it's number one. Where is he getting Googled? He's top 3 in the world right now. Does he have a salary cap hit? No, he makes about $500,000, which is about 70 times less than your backup quarterback. Okay. Does he have a record? No. He does have a record. It's a rap record, and it's charting on iTunes. Can he play? Yeah, he's the one of only quarterback to throw for 365 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 1 rusher since Joe Burrow. Where did pre-draft evaluators have him? Well, they said he was probably first, early second at the latest. Does he have a global fan base? Yes. What kind of global fan base? When I say global, everywhere. So let me ask you a question. What's the downside? Frankly, nothing, sir. All the data points to why would you not let him play in 2026? Are you going to make more money off Fernando Mendoza? No. Are you going to have more wins? No. Are you going to have more notoriety? No. Well, it seems like a pretty easy decision, doesn't it? Maybe it seemed that way to me, because seems like Memphis, Tennessee is on board. Dallas, Texas is in the building. Santa Fe, New Mexico. Des Moines, Iowa. Charlotte and Raleigh is on in North Carolina. Shout out to Columbia, South Carolina. Chattanooga, Tennessee. Got fans there too. Boy, shout out to Dearborn, Michigan. Champaign, Illinois. Cooking. Little Rock, Arkansas. They rocking and rolling in Orlando. We ain't even talk about the ATL or Chicago or LA or Miami. We got them on lock. We cool with them. We got boys in Montana. Bismarck, North Dakota is cooking. Cheyenne. South Carolina. San Diego. Nevada. What are we talking about? Oklahoma. Kansas City. Minnesota's in the building. Shout out to the Twin Cities. What are we talking about here, people? Huh? Alabama in the building. We in the Netherlands. This just a microcosm. Barbershops in Netherlands, the Philippines, Iceland, London, Ireland, Brazil, Mexico City, Browns backers of Hawaii. We everywhere. And guess what? Half these folks is pulling up just to see this. Denver's in the building. Dallas is in the building. New Jersey's in the building. Germany is in the building. Galveston, Texas is in the building. Parma, Ohio is in the building. Minnesota, shout out to the great Prince, Purple Rain, Greenwood, South Carolina, in the building. What? Dubai, United Arab Emirates, Jamaica, Kingston, Utah. Ellicott City, Maryland, Florida. What do you guys talk about? East Baltimore, International, Virginia, VA is in here. Shout out to Pharrell and Timberland and Missy. Austin, Texas, South by Southwest, DMV, ATL, shawty. Port Arthur, Texas. Shout out to Concord, Massachusetts, by the way. Holland in the building. Holland's in the building. Guys, Missouri, man. Berlin, Germany. Worldwide. Can we keep going? Colorado Springs. We ain't even repeating. Belize. We ain't even repeating. Connecticut. Jersey. Shout out to Free Surf. Florida. We don't want to go too far. Apple Valley, Minnesota in a bit. We don't want to, Rose, we don't want to give them too much. Don't give them too much. We're going to get to these super chats. Ghana is in the building. Nigeria is in the building. This is what I'm telling you. The movement global. It stands for something larger. It's something bigger. It's something outside of that. South Africa in the building. You think these folks watch football? You think these people is just pulling up the wire? No, because it's the mindset. It's about the struggle. It's about trying to be something greater. It's about when people tell you ain't it, you can be it. It's the representation of what 12 is. This ain't no deification. This ain't about whether or not we trying to be in a cult. This is about what the principles stand for, as I told you before. As I told you before. What God got for you, can't nobody take it. You just stand on what he's telling you and keep it pushing. This is a story about perseverance. It's a story about continuing to keep going, just like Knoxville, Tennessee, and Wakanda's in the building. We got that vibranium in here because we vibrated a different. For what we just talked about and what we just went down the pipeline for, China, Indiana, and Colombia on vacation, going to the beach afterwards, boy. See, woo, that was hot. We are the new Cleveland. You see what I'm saying? The new America's team. You see what we talking about? Why would you even not invest in something that has the potential to have a movement like that? And on top of that, he can play. Let's get to the super chats. Let's get to it. I just want to get to the super chats, man. Cleveland Browns marketing, you're welcome. You're welcome. Start that in New America's team. Nike, holler at your boy. I kind of told you the Browns was always this silent America's team. You might want to go ahead and print that right now. I'm going to just give you the commercial. You can play that perfect timing. You got them 12 jerseys on every continent. South Africa, China, Australia, Canada, North America, Europe. All different races, shapes, and sizes of people. It's about the perfect timing. You just make sure you be ready when that time comes. Holler at your boy. I got a degree in marketing. You should holler out. I get y'all together. I'm just playing. Unless you're going to do it. Let's get to your comments, man. Let's get to your super chats. Let's see. Let's see. Squizzer. Jason is most fraudulent, non-biased media personality. He doesn't even hide his contempt for Shador. And what's sad is not even about football. Carthel Granison. We appreciate you, my guy. We appreciate the super chat. We appreciate that always. And thank you for supporting the show. Riri Land attack on 12 fan base is also crazy as why he's a problem, but they never attack the anti-12 base as a problem. I've always said this too, man. I don't agree with that, man. I don't agree with the whole it's his fan base. What are you talking about, bro? People just always have fans. People are going to have people support him. This is part of the game. That's not his fans are the problem. What? I'm not worried about no fans. I'm worried about what he do in a football field. Like, that's one of the reasons we have film reviews. I think sometimes they get mad because his fan base is going to support him and say what they're going to say. Well, if you don't agree with that, stand on business. If you don't agree, why that hurt your feelings? When I said Baker Mayfield wasn't playing good, everybody didn't agree with me, but you never had me out here talking about, oh my gosh, the Baker bros are coming for me. When Deshaun Watson wasn't no good, people kept saying, G. Bush, I thought he was getting 4,500. Okay, cool. He didn't get 4,500. I didn't say people is coming for me. When people like Stefanski and I say Stefanski should have been gone 3 years ago, you think everybody was happy with me? No. It's part of sports talk. So you can't blame somebody's fan base because you emotional because what you said. We supposed to be journalists and media members who stand on what we say, right? That's part of the job. This is why everybody can't do this job. Third most pressures at Aunt Fonzo. Third most pressures, least sacks in those pressures, but doesn't know when he's hot and can't flip protections. That sense ain't common. You got to ban the haterade from the set. Now, everybody got their own opinion. Man, we ain't got to ban nothing. That's just part of it. Look, I'm down for this discourse. Like somebody said earlier, hey, man, you should go debate Quincy on something. I ain't got no problem with that. People debate in presidential debates, senator debates, it's part of it. We go debate, we shake their hand, and we leave afterwards. We ain't all going to agree on nothing. I don't have to ban nobody. Matter of fact, I want as many different diverse opinions as I could get to. I just stand on what I said. That's it. I prove you said that. I go and show and prove where I'm going to show you every single time that he flipped the protection. I'm going to show you every single time that he threw a tight throw. And we showed that on the film review. But I appreciate your super chat. I get your sentiment. Sometimes you can agree to disagree. All right, that's what's up. Young Among, they hate AB on the show, and they say he should go, but had a pivotal draft class. But riddle me this, when in all of the 13 quarterbacks, has Kevin ever developed one of the young quarterbacks? He can't develop young talent. That's another thing, too. The problem is Kevin Stefanski got fired because his offense was terrible. And is the talent level good? No. But here's the problem. When the talent level was good, his offense still wasn't great. He couldn't find a way to get Odell Beckham Jr. the ball prior to ACL surgeries. He couldn't get Jarvis Landry to rock. We was complaining about why Nick Chubb in his prime was getting 16 carries. Odell was showing on film, hey, he got jettisoned out of Cleveland because he told the coach, I'm open right here, I'm open. He didn't even say it. His father it was like his father showed where he was open. His offense ain't been good. He turned his offense over 2 years in a row. Irrefutable. But you're going to make arguments for who you like. If you like him, I always told somebody, I've always opened my conversation. 3,966 people here. I've always opened my conversation. If you like Kevin Stefanski, tell me one thing he's good at. What is he elite at? All right, then. Squizzer and Bull, Jason J have no idea when it comes to football. They know advanced analytics and they think they're gods. No better than Stefanski. There's a lot of people, even with those three guys, there's a lot of people in the industry, in our industry, that believe in analytics. And let me say, I started my thesis statement by saying this. Analytics have a value and place inside of sports. The problem that I have is when you use analytics as the end-all be-all and not include other different pieces of information to make a more well-rounded point. I can't take one stat and just say that that's not what it is. And I've articulated that on the show countless times. Patrick Williams. Will Jay and Jason have the most any opinions I've ever heard? I can tell they are used to losing and doesn't know what winning looks like. I say this. Like I always said, people is entitled to their opinion. I think a lot of what makes the show great is the fact that they do have such differing opinions. There's people that'll come on the show and watch Bull because they identify with his opinion. Some will watch Jay because they like his opinion. Some watch Jason Lloyd because they want their opinion. And some pull up to watch me. So that mix of opinion makes the show what it is. So for me, I just think, all I can do and all my plan is for 26, speaking for me. I can't speak for everybody else. All I could do is speak and give you the most persuasive argument and conversations I can. And so that's what I plan on doing. But as far as their opinion, sometimes you're going to agree with them, sometimes you ain't. And that's what makes the platform what it is, because we can go back and forth and show levels to what we believe. Young among Dylan Gabriel shoulder hurt. Nah, after the booing from last week, they made a business decision. They know the fans don't want to see him. Let me tell you this. I'm going to just tell you what. This is more of a reason why I think this is more set than people are giving them credit for. Like, they know what Dylan Gabriel is. Nah, chill out, homie. Go ahead, chill. We already know. You're on the list. Harold Fanning Jr., I haven't seen the injury list. We all good, bro. The Cleveland Browns is not a team that looks like they're poised or they are pressed about playing these dudes because they don't want nobody to get hurt. They might not even necessarily want to win these last two games. Deshaun Watson just got deactivated again. Now, we don't no problems with you coming out here re-aggravating your Achilles. We already know what you're doing next year. Back up. We already know what Dylan Gabriel doing. Back up. We don't want to have to go after. They want that room to look as pristine as possible. Maybe it's me. R. Dog, G. Bush, the internet took the power from reporters. The biased narratives are being challenged and exposed by platforms like the Barbershop. Just because they write it or say it doesn't make it true. I've always been a big supporter of independent media. And I'm always going to stay a supporter of independent media because I believe there needs to be a diverse, whether it's local media, national media, independent media. Yeah, I believe the more context, the more people you have involved, the bigger the industry grows. I've always had a problem, not specifically against individuals, but I've always had a problem with the way the industry was set up because there was a bunch of gatekeepers. You get one or two people with a loud platform, and then that was the end all be all. And what happens is sometimes if those people have a specific point of view, that point of view seems to be amplified because there's no other different train of thought pushing back against it. And so now, you got people who do these type of podcasts that have a lot of followers. Quincy got followers. Simply Ball Dropping Podcast, FB Teams, we talk about it all the time. From, you see, shows like Big Play or shows like ESPN Cleveland or 92.3 The Fan. UCSS was one of the first formats like this on the internet that made it viable for people to come and be trailblazers, for people to even be able to come on this level. And even before that, I had been doing that years prior, starting in 2014. And I started doing internet radio in 2010. So I've been always interested in this medium, and I've always been, I consider myself a trailblazer in it. And it wasn't because I was just, doing it. I read a story to Jay-Z all the time. Jay-Z and Rockefeller Records started because Jay-Z went to every major label and they wouldn't give him a deal. So him, Dame, and Big started Rockefeller, put their money together and did Reasonable Doubt. And then even Reasonable Doubt, when it came out, it wasn't considered a classic. It was considered a good body of work. But as time went on, it aged better. And that's how I consider myself. I feel like some of my best shows was my first shows. And people took time to come around and be like, oh, who's this dude? Who's this guy? And as time evolved, the flat platform grew. But I've been doing this since 2010. So sometimes, necessity is the mother of all inventions. Sometimes you get on the internet because that's the only place you can go. So now to see it grow to a point where people can make a living, or earning, or just have their voice heard, to me is a blessing. Darnell Strickland, I see draft the left tackle and receiver, even if we have to trade down, wrist up. I like receiver. I like receiver and tackle. I think that's what it is. You're going to hear a lot of stuff, though. You'll hear a lot of smoke screens, but I like receiver and tackle. Armac Dog, I've been saying the quarterback room is set because the Browns can't afford another veteran quarterback, so use the first-round picks for wide receiver and left tackle. Make Shador quarterback 1, Deshaun Watson quarterback 2, DG quarterback 3. Hey, listen, that's the way I see it. I think I did a really good job of eloquently putting together, from a business standpoint, from a social marketing standpoint, and from a practical on the field, on the play that you see on the football field. I think that's the best, way to maximize with 2026. And even, you look at it, you give them 2026, and if it don't work out, you're definitely going to be in the hunt for another quarterback, because that's just what the nature of the business is. But if you give him 2026 and you actually give him an offense and a coach that believes in him, and receivers that are going to work with him through the offseason, and an offensive line that gets to understand what it's cadence, what it look like, it's a different. Sean King talk about wrapping your arms around guys and making decisions based on an organization to say, hey, this is our guy. And a lot of times we overdraft quarterbacks and we want to microwave everything. And the crazy thing is you trying to figure out who somebody is in 5 games. It's like saying, do I want to marry you in 5 dates? Just don't work like that. Tay Sealy, I can see the Browns trading back and getting a similar package they got from the Jags. I won't be mad at it, especially if I can get the receiver that I want. Doggy Bone, you need to collab with Off the Record. He does great film breakdown too. He shouts you out all the time. Off the Record, hit me up. Hit me up on Twitter. You can hit me up at gbush91hotmail.com. You can DM me on Twitter. We'll link up. Matter of fact, if you don't know, it's a great time to link up. If you want to become a member, we will be getting ready to go. If Shador Sanders is the quarterback, we're going to be drafting. We'll go over the quarterbacks. We'll show you Mendoza. We'll see him. So our film breakdowns don't stop just because the Brown season is over. We'll be breaking down left tackles. We'll be breaking down receivers. We'll bring in guys to kind of break it down. We got guys in the Rolodex ready to go to get you through draft season. If you want to be part of a member, we're going to definitely continue to give member-only moves on and have special guests come in. We got a list of them ready to go. I know one of the big ones is Boog is coming on. We still got him. We still got we still got Josina Anderson coming up. We still got a couple Coach Riz is coming up. It's a bunch of people that I had these interviews lined up where we definitely it's going to be a great off season. So you don't want to miss that content. And plus we already got the all 22 film for every college team. So we're going to be watching these, breaking these down, tackle, receiver, running back. You guys want to throw something out? We might be even watch some highlights together and say, hey, let's compare, saying Cardinal Tate and Jordan Tyson. So I'm excited for the off season. Off season don't stop here in the barbershop. You know what we do. Battle of the badasses. G, any chance Prime as the next coach? What's your take on the scenario? I don't think Prime want to do that. I just think Prime at this point, he didn't have a bout. He got, he's dealing with, circulation, and he's dealing with the cancer situation. Glad he's in remission. But at where he at in his life, why would you want the headache? I actually keep them separated. Because if you think it's a circus now, can you imagine the level of questions that they would give? I mean, people they would go crazy, and I think Prime, he wants to give Shador an opportunity to become his own guy, to write his own legacy. And I think he's comfortable with that. I think they weathered the storm a little bit in terms of, they've always been around each other. And I think when what Shador went through, I think it showed that he spiritually, matured a lot. You had the invasion, home invasion, whatever. You had him having to deal with adversity and not being first time in his life, coming to a new city, not knowing nobody, just trying to find his way. And so now at the end of the season, I think he's grown tremendously on his own. So I think Prime is not looking to link back up in this situation. Chase 0522 G Bush, as a lifelong Eagles fan, the one saving grace about this mess is finding you. Whatever happens to Dora, I'm still rocking with you. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. That's a huge that's a huge compliment, man. And I appreciate everybody that did find me. One of the biggest things, that most humbling things in the world, is to be on a platform where you have people who are Eagles fans, Cardinals fans, Steelers fans, Ravens fans, Cowboys fans, 49ers fans, Dolphins. And these are people that pay attention to other teams. These are other teams. Like, I don't do Dolphins content. It still baffles me sometimes. And I'm grateful. I don't understand it, but because traditionally, they tell you on YouTube, you have to be pinpoint accurate as to the audience you're talking to. But I just been blessed for whatever reason, because, you talked about Shedeur Sanders or the other content that you do, that I've accumulated a base of people that support you, even though I'm not even talking about their team. So I appreciate every one of y'all, man. So I just think that's always humbling, man. Star Rizzy, 2011. Many fans here still dislike Watson intensely, even as a backup. It's risky. Like, I don't even think it's that risky. I think the reason, there's a couple of things, the reason why people don't like Deshaun Watson. One is Deshaun Watson was the guy who was known as the guy who replaced Baker Mayfield, who was drafted here. Baker Mayfield had a large fan base, and he was also a Heisman Trophy winner, had a national fan base. So when he became the guy that replaced Baker Mayfield, there was a lot of people didn't like that. The second thing that came along with it was Deshaun Watson originally turned down the Browns until they offered him a guaranteed contract. 3, most people didn't like the guaranteed contract because they equated that guaranteed contract to all the meaning that Deshaun Watson was automatically now somehow better than He deserves to be the highest paid quarterback in the history of the game. And then obviously the fourth thing is the allegations. And then when the allegations came, you know, all of that, all of the what the salaciousness of it came out, all of the how would you say, all of the details, that turned some people off. Then on top of that, he got suspended for dang near 11 games. So then you were still dealing with the backlash of it. You didn't even get the dividends of it. And then when he did get on the field, he was hurt for most of the time. So you package all of that together, and the amount of assets that came, people are going to be in their bag and their feelings a little more. Me, I come at it a little different. I can understand all of those things involved, but I can also understand from a business standpoint, the Cleveland Browns and 90% of the fan base had no problems with Deshaun Watson before he got here. None. The problem was they didn't get the expected return. So that made it kind of wild, and that made them sour a little bit. But as a backup quarterback coming off injury, yeah, I'll take it. Don't get it twisted. Like, Dylan Gabriel will never be better than Watson. Let me just be honest with you from a football standpoint. And it's hard pressed to tell one of the new dudes that's going to be better than him. I'm just tell you that right now. So that's just what it is, in my opinion. Joint JDNBA. NFL flexed the Browns at 3-12 to a national coverage for the second week in a row because networks called the NFL, we want 12. That's kind of wild, too. Plus, the Steelers are in, they got a chance to clinch a playoff spot. Dirt Road 44. In school, who were a little slow and got separated into groups for special education. Thank you, G. Bush, for recognizing we're not all the same. No, we're not all the same. I think, my dad worked at, he worked with people with developmental disabilities, and he worked in a workshop setting for 35 years. Actually, to be truthful, one of the best summers I've ever had is, I still don't know how they gave me the job, but I worked in a workshop setting where we helped train people how to do work who had mental disabilities or and so with they developmental disabilities. And we would teach them how to build these little projects and do different things. And they actually sold the work to different companies and they got a paycheck. So it was very interesting that it took a lot of patience to be able to, get through to people that may be nonverbal, people who may have had behavior outbursts. And I was like 18, so it taught me a lot. But he did that job for 35 years. You know what I'm saying? Working with that population in the social program. So, yeah, man. Look, everybody learn different. Everybody grow different. And so, that was a good experience for me to let everybody know that, everybody ain't the same. Everybody's not a monolith, and we need to reach people where they at. A Gouda 07 Juke Boy. Gee, you hell, I had made a Facebook reel of you on Lloyd behind like back pockets. You wasn't letting him get none of the nonsense off. If anybody thinks you ain't standing on business, they tripping. Well, man, I got to tell her how I feel, bro. By the way, I still stand on it. Shador Sanders is not the worst quarterback. That's not even debatable. I mean, when you watch him play, come on. Watch it go. We just broke down the film. In the century? No. Quad Rich 12 said draft him if you're ready to change the culture of your team. Does that mean Barry agreed knowing he was going to get a great price? Barry with no deeper destination in developing coach. This might be crazy work. I'm gonna tell you something. It just goes to show you the ownership. I'm gonna give you. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something about Jimmy Haslam. Jimmy Haslam, for whatever you want to say, he gives people opportunities. He gave Josh Gordon opportunity after opportunity after. Josh Gordon was in and out of rehab, and he still gave him the opportunity. Kareem Hunt, when his career looked like it was derailed, Jimmy Haslam gave him an opportunity, and Kareem Hunt is still in the league when it looked like he was finished. When you take a look at making certain trades, going to get Jarvis, he traded for he stamped the trade for Odell Beckham. He was like, yo, give me Baker Mayfield. He could have drafted Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson. Jimmy Haslam is not afraid of personalities. Deshaun Watson, say what you want. He gives people opportunities. And if you look at Shedeur Sanders, what did he really do? People still can't tell you why they don't like him. Really. They still to this day can't articulate. It ain't his game. He didn't get thrown in jail or nothing. I think Jimmy Haslam literally saw a star that he could get in the 5th round that he can capitalize off of. Miss Peggy, see you, oldest fan. Homecoming 2024. We got cans of water with pics of her and her deceased twin sister. She has NIL thanks to Coach Prime. So that's one of the big ones. So that's one of the original CU aunties, I think. Miss Peggy. Shout out to Miss Peggy. And Mr. CMB13, thank you for becoming a member. We appreciate you. Welcome to the family. Beautifully blessed. Don't forget Tampa Bay by way of Memphis, Tennessee. Nephew is love. Beautifully blessed as always. Always good to hear from you. Always good to hear from you. Beatrice, T36 or T3G8H. Thank you so much for becoming a member. Welcome to the family. We appreciate you so much. DK1028. Same way they told me I wasn't seeing 12 outperform DG every step of the way. Nobody can convince me that there isn't a racist core behind 12's hate. Now, I will say this. There's some people, this is the way the world works. Probably, is there some people out there that could be racist? Sure. Or there's just some people that don't like the way he behaves? Sure. Some people don't like the fact that he has a bust-down AP, or he grew up rich, or his dad is prime, or he's an NIL kid, or they think he was given it, or he's brash. There are those contingencies as well. So I'm not going to say everybody that is a detractor of Shedeur has a race element to it. But are there some people that could be racist, that's their main animus? Sure. Let's not get it twisted. Like, that's a part of America. That part is always going to be an issue with some people. And it's okay to acknowledge that at the same time, to be like, hey, maybe some people ain't on that type of time too. Jab 9237. The biggest problem, Shedeur is too black in every way. Perfect timing. They ain't never. Okay, I'll stop. They don't know now. Okay, too much. I'm out. Sometimes, man, I always tell people there is a level of stay in your placeism. I always go to it when people say that ain't it. No, I don't think it's that. I mean, 3 years ago, people still was telling people to shut up and dribble. And until somebody really articulated how that could be culturally or racially inappropriate, then they took it, then people stopped saying that. And I'm glad people have moved past it and understand that, ooh, that's kind of, you probably shouldn't say that. That's probably not the best thing to say. Brash. Sometimes they don't want you. Brash is a thing, which I still don't understand. I never will get why it rubs people the wrong way when people want to be who they are. Be who you is, man. I don't got you. You don't got to be like everybody else. Ain't that what we tell our kids every day going to school? Be you. Nobody can be a better you. But then when you grow up and that's you, they got a problem with it because it's not the way that fits into their small box. Carrie, Mr. Excitement. GB, you went super viral for speaking common sense facts. I only watch Barbershop and anything they got you on because needs to educate the haters. I try to bring a unique perspective. I need look, bro. I'll be sitting here trying to tell people. If anybody know G Bush, it's just me. I ain't on. People sometimes get it twisted, like I'm just trying to go viral. No, I don't go viral. I don't even rehearse none of that. I always tell people, I pray that God gives me the words, that I watch what I say, that I don't say anything that could be, taken out of context, that I got to go apologize to a group of people, or I got to, you know what I'm saying? But I also pray that I want to be honest. I want to be sincere in what I'm saying, and I want to make sure that it's being real. And so I give praise to God because he does give me the, I always tell him to give me the words. Sometimes I get off the stage or I get somewhere and I don't even remember what I said because I'm trying to flow and have him do what he would want me to do. So for me, I'm never trying to go viral. I don't never get on those sticks, never get on the mic and just say, today's a viral moment. I think sometimes the viral moments come because there is a level of sincerity behind it, and it's a level of authenticity that comes because of I really mean what I'm talking about. I'm really like the Damar Hamlin thing. I really meant that. Like I don't get nowhere and just act. And if you ever know me, I'm the same person, as I am on it. Who say that? Whose slogan is? No, that's shout out to Swamp. He said, I'm the same dude in the street as I am on the internet, right? So I try to keep it real. Yoshi Doshi, CEO of CA Mafia LLC, buys 2% of the Browns. Is that true? Gotta check that out. Got 2%. That's about 2% of the Browns is worth that's millions. From first to worst, the Cleveland Browns, the new America's team. Gotham Media Labs, I'm telling you. I've been saying that for about 3 years now. I've been saying that from worst to first. America's new team. Sell Mo Fudd. Bruh, you're much too nice. You're much too kind. I appreciate you, my brother. Yo, G Bush, you and Rosie 2025 was the year that put Cleveland on the map. The Barbershop is doing great, and now you gave us the Kool-Aid Mafia. So happy to be a Clevelander and looking forward to 2026. It's going to be legendary. Hey, 2025, we came alive. 2026, we ain't going to miss. Get that T-shirt ready, Rosie. 2026, we ain't going to miss. I want to send a shout out to my wife, too. She was sick the other day. And she worked super hard. The trajectory of the Barbershop could not be what it is today if it was not for her hard work. Every single time that you see me doing stuff and I'm on for 3 hours, she over there on for 3 hours. He with me cutting this stuff up, breaking it down. So I could not be where I am today. I truly see her as, you say I got, for a lot of people don't know this is a family business. A lot of people don't know this is a family business. My mother and father came to me with an idea and said, hey, why don't you do this like YouTube stuff? And at the time I wasn't even doing YouTube. And they came to me and invested and said, yo, buy a camera, get you some logos, get you some copyright this and do that. And so the Barbershop was born out of a family initiative. And so they gave me the tools, both of them college graduates. And when my father, when he retired, he said, hey, we need something to invest in. Why not invest in I could go invest in the stock market, or I can invest in my son. And so I took it as a responsibility, and I really appreciated they believed in me more than I believed in myself at the time. And then when I got married, my wife just came and added, she's an accountant by trade. So she worked, is to see her as an accounting executive and then come home and help me edit videos and shoot and troubleshoot cameras. Like, I truly appreciate because, anytime you're doing something, you got to have good people around you. You got to have good people that support you, and you got to have a good team. So I think I got the best team. And I got I wouldn't trade them for nothing. So I just wanted to shout them out for all their hard work that they put in behind the scenes, because I wouldn't be there without them. The Ashanti Mom, good morning, G. Bush. Thank you always for standing for Shador with facts and receipts. The film don't lie. I appreciate you. Uncle Kai, my son is in Seoul, Korea. Shout out to Seoul, Korea. He got his 12 jersey for Christmas. Shout out to Seoul, Korea. Babe, you ever been to Seoul, Korea? Yeah, she was there too. How many countries you been to? 13. I got to step my passport game up. My passport game is looking nasty. She been to Seoul, they've been to China. I'm going to get my money up. I'm going to get my little. Angel Tolas became a member today. Thank you so much for welcoming and joining the family. We appreciate you. 4,225 people. Wherever you're at, continue to watch us and continue to keep it going. By the way, me, Earl the Pearl, Mikey McNuggets, we got our last watch party coming up tomorrow against the Steelers. Make sure you check in at UCSS. Make sure you check in. We'll be around 12:45. We'll do kickoff, but make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you're watching it so you can catch our watch party. Let's go ahead and hope for the Browns. We'll see if we can put some numbers up against the Steelers. Make sure you're following it. Make sure you're following it on UCSS. Beautifully blessed. Shador's fans aren't the problem. Problem is we won't let them place the BS on his feet, and they don't like that. We're not gonna stand for it. I will tell you, y'all don't play no game. Y'all don't play no games. Loren Scott, if the fan base didn't support our nephew, they would have continued to railroad him. We aren't having it, and we ain't going nowhere. Look at the new Cleveland Browns jersey. Boy, the new Browns. I told y'all. Ain't no such thing as the old and the new. It's one fold. Let Shador Sanders win the championship. I guarantee everybody have Browns jerseys on. Y'all just not thinking right. Deanna Bowens. I told you a while ago he was modern-day Joseph. And what Joseph did for the Pharaoh of Egypt is like the Shador did to the city of Cleveland Browns. See you, Auntie, in the house. God leads those he chooses. God chooses who he shall lead. And I do say it's perfect timing. Mr. CMB 1313. I watched the follow ever since Deion took over Jackson State. Never missed a well-off media. I'm from Philly. I'm an Eagles fan, and I watched more Browns content since 12 was drafted than any Eagles in the last 2 years. That says something, and because the Eagles fan base is rabid. Them folks don't play over there. So that means, hey, welcome to the base. Hey, man, listen, you know how we embrace. Listen, I always told people, come on over here. Welcome to the fan base. We appreciate you. DK1028, the problem is the loud talk. The problem is they loud talk over you. And while being wrong, you have to be out here like Shador, bro, and overcome all kind of BS. Oh, man. Sometimes, now I will say, I remember the first time we ever did shows. And, man, you thought it was crazy. Now, in the beginning, we had like 10 panelists. Back then, it was like the Hunger Games. If you didn't get your point in, It was going to be crazy. Go back and watch some of the early episodes. It's tame compared to what it used to be. You used to have to come on there with nunchucks and block people. Block, 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 block. No, 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 no. Bro, it was crazy. KCM 5415. The dude said the Browns lose points every time 12 drops back when they could have got to 20 points before he started. Make it make sense. Yeah, they didn't score the most points. Wow, Shador. That's I keep trying to tell people. Sometimes them statistics. Come on, we didn't see the Browns offense take off. We couldn't get 13 points before. Tay Sealy, I see Cleveland trading back to get more picks. That might be a problem, especially if they do. If one of them teams win a quarterback and the Browns can have a high pick, that's why Andrew Berry loved them picks. I think also that's why he's sitting everybody down. Hey, chill out. Be cool. Be cool. They had a problem with 12 calling himself legendary, but clock this. His rise from the Ashes season alone has been nothing short of legendary. I always tell people, you know how far he had to go just to even get to this point? You had to have 3 quarterbacks be moved. 3. And the coach. It's crazy. I ain't seen nothing like that. Red Hot Chili Peppers fan, a Steelers fan who is here for the truth. Wow. Shout out to you, the Steelers fan. I'm going to tell you this too. What y'all going to do with Mike Tomlin, man? One of the most impressive things I've ever seen in my life is the fact that they are, for the last 24 years, have gone over 500. 24 straight years. I think Mike Tomlin is responsible for like 19 or 20 of them. It's wild work. G. Bush Nationwide Media is starting to echo a wide receiver for y'all. Diego is cool, but LA is in here. Shout out to, shout out to LA. Shout out to Kendrick too. LA is in the building. LA is in the building. By the way, make sure y'all catch this. Coming up in about 2 weeks. Oh, we got some new merch coming. G. Bush got the new merch. We gonna do it's gonna be the Barbershop week. The Barbershop gear week. I got all kind of gear ready to go. You're gonna say, bro, where you get that? We ain't done working. You thought Kool-Aid Mafia was there. We got wait till you see it. I'm gonna let y'all know. Wait till you see it. You be like, dang, G. Bush, where you get that from? Oh man, where'd you get that from? We ready, man. Cedric Phillips. The owner kids are wearing 12 jerseys. I don't see 12 being moved. Plus, it makes sense strictly from a financial standpoint. You can make so many moves. I agree. I mean, yeah, that was another thing too. When your grandkids when they run around with 12 jerseys, that's kind of hard to match, dog. New deputies pulled up. Quit whining about Shador Sanders. Focus on things changing. Step 1, believe. Step 2, stop trashing our own players. I always say this, man. The biggest thing for me is I just hope to get here. I just want one day where we all can say, oh, he's the quarterback. And we could talk about the game from week to week without it being, is he the guy conversation? It can be, did Shador play well this week or not? I just saw Jared Goff play horrible. But the Lions aren't sitting here talking about whether or not he's the guy. And I get it. It's only been 5 games, and I'm not sitting here saying I'm guaranteed that Shador Sanders is going to just knock it out of the park. But listen, I want to get to a place where we can talk about the games and some of the CU aunties become Quinshawn Judkins aunties. Or the CU aunties and uncles start to like other players on the roster and then see themselves as part of this is our team. But right now, we just using this as a referendum to see whether or not he's going to play every week. It's kind of wild to me, and it becomes exhausting a little bit because it's almost like you're always having to prove and trying to prove to people, oh, see, he's really good. You can't do that. It becomes exhausting. I'm not doing it this offseason. I'm not going to be having debates back and forth every single week. I mean, that's just not productive. Doc TJ, the local media who screamed when backup Josh Dobbs was released will repeat if Watson is released and performs well. Shador quarterback 1, Deshaun Watson quarterback 2, and 2026. I think here's what'll start to happen. They'll start to hear within the organization. You'll start to hear the narrative change a little bit. The stances will soften on whether Deshaun Watson or Shedeur Sanders should be here. And we'll kind of move back into the motion of giving a both sides argument to kind of prognosticating it. So I think that'll happen. Hard stances, I think, will be out of the mix because truthfully, who knows what they're going to do? Jimmy Haslam hasn't spoke. Only thing he told us was they was bringing back Deshaun Watson, and Andrew Berry hasn't spoke, which, since the beginning of 2 days. Yoshi Doshi, Kool-Aid, CA, Mafia Man. It was a joke. I just got it. The Kool-Aid Mafia has just now purchased 2% of the Cleveland Browns. That's crazy. How much? That's a lot of money, ain't it? To get 2% of the Browns? They're worth like $6 billion. That would mean I would be worth hundreds of millions. You know, the crazy part about it, if I was worth hundreds of millions of dollars, I think I still would do podcasts. I just come over here, still do podcasts. Freedom, LaShawn, we appreciate you, my guy. I missed the entire show. Shout out to the CEO and LT's G. Bush. Keep giving them fresh face, my guy. Shout out to Rosie, the queen of the barbershop. You gonna open your own beauty salon? She just smiled real big. Nah. Varian Brandon with Rosie and parents in the chat. Yeah, parents in the chat. We be put. My mom don't be in the chat though. She'll never be in the chat. My dad don't either. They do watch the show from time to time. But, sometimes it get too much for them. They're good Christian folks, and they prefer to spend their time thrifting and watching HGTV. By the way, they watch, it'd be wild. They be at my house just dating each other. It'd be wild work. They be in here dating, sitting on the couch. Because they be at my house. They got their own room in my house. So they be dating in here watching these. They still watch Hallmark movies, bro. They done seen all of them. Every Hallmark Christmas movie, everyone. All of them. See, they done got it on repeat. Oh, that's their pastime. I'm like, man, I'm glad I got you. I'm glad y'all got y'all your own TV because, boy, y'all watch these boys on repeat. R-Mac Dog, Cleveland had the second hardest schedule with a full offseason as quarterback. One offensive new coach, organizational back in Shador can lead to a 10-7 record in 2026. Let me tell you something. They need a hit. They need an uptick. Because I'm going to tell you about Andrew Berry. They coming. Boy, you don't draft no quarterback, they going to try to hold you accountable. You need at least 7 wins next year, AB, because they going to come. G. Bush, thank you, and Rosie for holding down. Can't wait for you and the Big Snacks collab. By the way, I was on Big Snacks during the what's the name? Shout out to Big Snacks. As a matter of fact, he's coming up quickly. Him and Big Snacks, we got a collab coming up. I just talked to him the other day. So we got one. I was on his channel about 3 or 4 times during the preseason. So we got to link back up. We got a lot of collabs coming, man. All the collabs y'all been looking for, we gonna have, this off season. It's so crazy because during the season it's tough because I got so many different things that I'm doing 7 days a week. I still got my Bleacher Report responsibility. People don't know I do Bleacher Report every single day. So for that app, and I'm UCSS every single day. I got the, Barbershop Saturday every weekend. I got the Browns post game and the regular post. So it's tough during the season. However, off season, we got a lot of stuff coming. So we keep it locked. I want to be just like G. Bush when I grow up. If I had your hand, I'd throw mine in straight G stuff. If you know, you know. Shout out to Big Snacks. We just talk about that, man. Big Snack, shout out to you, man. You was funny as heck the other day. I want to be like Big Snacks. Big Snacks got all his video games upstairs in his playroom. I ain't got enough room in my house. My little video games downstairs. Shout out to Snacks. Marguerite Joseph, thank you so much. AKA, oh man, we got my cousin is an AKA from Michigan State. She works down in Virginia. So we know the ski. Oh my goodness. Shout out to the pink and green. We see you. We the sorors. Shout out to the sororities and the frats. Shout out to the AKAs, the deltas, the Qs. Shout out to, and we got a lot. I got about 3 or 4 Kappas in my family. Junior Solomon, never seen so many 12 jerseys in Alabama. Crazy. Worldwide, my G. Alexander Gallant is always go Browns. Shador on the Browns. We on the Browns. That's why I end my show all the time. It's always go Browns. I always end it the same way. Glaze Mob, they need to trade down and acquire picks to enter the Jeremiah Smith sweepstakes in 2027. If they can mess around, I don't even know how they would get Jeremiah Smith. But he'd only receiver I trade 4 or 5 things for. Multiple things. Eric ATL, thank you, G. Bush. Wrist up. You know what it is. Big Daddy 5795. What up, G? Diehard Eagles fan out here in, near Cebu, Philippines. Just letting you know, 12 jerseys all the way out here. What college you go to in Cebu? Shout out to the University of the Visayas. Actually, my wife wanted to shout out to her college, so shout out to them out there. And my sister-in-law, shout out to Angela City. Well, we heavy in the Philippines, man. We heavy. Gotham Medium Last, Jason Bull and Jay was trying to get you out of character so they can stereotype you, say, yeah. But they did not realize you're too smart for that. Hey, man, you never get out. Never get out your framework, bro. Sometimes you're going to be in an argument, man. You got to show you're cool. I always tell people like this, man. This is just football. I don't care nothing about this, really. Man, I told people like this, man. I done been to so many different funerals and different things in the last. I even talked to Earl about this with him losing his mom. And we kind of talked, and you know what I'm saying? After, my aunt passed away, and I had a lot of things personal happening all at once, like in a 2-3 day span. And I was talking to Earl, and I just realized, man, like we was talking about, man, we privileged to be even able to talk about sports. And this ain't no real job. We worked real jobs before. So when you lose people or you start, I always say my aunt was, when she was sick, she just said, listen, I'm trying to make it to heaven. Man, that's tough. That's crazy. My wife, she, in the Philippines, they had 4 floods back to back. 4 floods. She had to go she's trying to call people and figure out it to see if people are still alive. Like, I'm like, this is crazy. And then they had another flood, another tsunami, another typhoon. So it's like when you have all of them things happening, I'm just sitting there thinking, like, it's wild. You got 12 brothers and sisters, or 10, 11 brothers and sisters, and they living in all different parts of the country. You don't really got communication with a lot of them. You just hoping everything is cool. I'm like, bro, we talking about football. You having disagreements about football? Like, that ain't no thing. Like, really, it's just a blessing to even be on the platform. So I don't even take it that serious because there's other different things that's way more important in life than arguments. But, that's what keep me cool. And for me, like I said, I just, I don't even remember what I be saying half the time. I just want to make sure that I'm representative and I can, prove, say stuff that I really believe in and truthful to my heart. Nancy, what is it with Browns media? There a while, all the crap about the press conference after the Bills game. 12 doesn't own a media company that belongs to Bucky. Man, I think there's a little bit of, when you got, there's this competition thing. And I do think somebody talked about independent media earlier. The independent media aspect of it can be kind of threatening to some people a little bit. And I just think people should just focus on focus on just doing your thing. I mean, look, you don't see me asking questions. I'm part of the media. I don't be asking what did Bucky do or what the well-off media said, this, that, and the third, or what's going on, asking him about it. Listen, this is crazy. Even if I interviewed Shador Sanders or anybody in that sphere, to be honest, I don't even want to talk about football. I don't care nothing. I really don't care. Like, I'm not going to sit here. I want to know about the human aspect of it. I want to know what you do in your spare time. I want to know what you think about this, your growth. You know what I'm saying? What do you do in the community? What do you do in your free time? What do you do what do you think about certain things? Like, what do you do to get away? Like, I don't care. Like, there's always time to talk. I could break down film and I could tell you what you're thinking with that. But I don't even think that's interesting. I think it's interesting that he's a streamer. I think it's interesting that you grew up in front of a camera all the time. Like, do you feel like you in a zoo? Like, there's all kind of different things that I would want to know. Like, the unique way you grew up with Prime being your dad. There's 1,000 different questions that I would ask that I think people would get a much better idea of who he was as a person rather than talking about a 3rd and 7. Nobody really don't care about that. I mean, they do, but they don't. It's not, that part ain't really that interesting to me. King of Fran, Cowboy fan here. So no, I'm riding with 12, but if the Browns mess this up, I don't know. You got a quarterback for cheap, got picks. No way y'all mess this up. And I hope they don't. That's the way I see it. Lord G. Bush, that's Varian Brandon. That's a compliment for Rosie and your parents for supporting you. In the chat means winning support. It's a Twitch lingo. See, I be learning. I like that. I be learning. I feel like I'm getting old, man. Y'all been educating me. I used to be on the cutting edge. I be on cutting edge of lingo. But listen, Harry and Brandon, I appreciate you. Because now I know. I always try to tell people, when you get new information, I turned 44 and got lame. When you get new information, I'm going to be using that. You in the chat, man. I appreciate it. Bianca, why is the Cleveland media worried about the pro Shador fans, but never have any smoke for the anti-Shador haters? That say some of the horrible things about Shador. I think a lot of times people, we want to do the both sidesism. Well, there are some people on both sides. There are some people that do go too far, or, but talking about the Shador haters, it don't get you clicks like the Shador fans because y'all passionate. If you say something about a Shador fan, you're pulling up to rebuttal. That's part of the game, part of the draw that comes with it. I always tell people, always understand your worth, because y'all done really made a lot of people a lot of money this year. You done elevated the whole Cleveland market as a whole, because y'all show up, y'all interact, y'all comment, you support, you pull up, you're vocal, you give hot takes. Y'all are like you guys is a lightning rod. Shador's play has been better or like most. I think he's played solid. I think he's had some bad things he's done. I think obviously he's a rookie. He's going to have some ups and downs, but I think how people grade and look at his game is just kind of, it's not taking into account the whole contextual situation of what it is to be able to play in the NFL with very limited reps and a limited roster, and to ask him to play at such a high level is, I think, it's not realistic. King of R&B. And I also want to thank you for not holding Shador, because we're not going to speak on why you got to fight for him so much. We all know what you're saying, but you've been solid for real, and keep standing on it. I appreciate you, King of R&B. And by the way, shout out to Tank. I always watch that. I like that R&B money. I like that R&B money joint. Big Friday, 7020. Thank you for the super chat. And finally, Mitch Rapp is back. Scarborough, Maine is the new 12 countries. Scarborough, Maine. We everywhere. They moving around, man. I want to appreciate y'all for pulling up on me on a Saturday. Make sure you check us out tomorrow. We'll be right here on UCSS, same place, same time. We simulcasting on here. As you know, UCSS. Make sure you check us out tomorrow, 12:45. We'll do the Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Cleveland Browns watch party, the last one of the year. Make sure you come out. Let's celebrate having another great, successful season, another great season of UCSS, and another great season covering the Browns and Cleveland sports. We want to thank each and every one of you for pulling up, and we want to thank you for your time, your energy, your effort, your comments, and everything in all the above. No matter what you say, if you do want the fresh cut on sports, G. Bush always keeps the Clippers with you. And you know what we say. You may talk about these dudes all the time, but it's always go Browns. Have a good rest of your weekend, and we'll catch you tomorrow for the watch party.